On July 15, 2026, Greater Tunb Island sits beneath the morning sky of the Persian Gulf. American aircraft begin releasing precision munitions against coastal defense systems and cruise missile sites. The island does nothing. It cannot. For the next 90 minutes, geography itself becomes the target. This is how one permanent node in Iran's Strait of Hormuz defense became dangerously easy to find, and why striking one island was not the same as destroying the entire network. The Strait of Hormuz is one of the narrowest important shipping corridors on Earth. At its tightest point, Iran lies only a few dozen kilometers from Oman. Commercial ships cannot simply spread across the water. Deep draft tankers follow established lanes. Their routes are narrow, crowded, and predictable. In peacetime, roughly 1/5 of the world's oil and natural gas passes through this area. That makes every radar station, missile launcher, patrol boat, and naval mine near the shipping lanes more important than its size suggests. Iran understood this long before the Islamic Republic existed. In November 1971, Iranian forces took control of Greater Tunb, Lesser Tunb, and Abu Musa as Britain prepared to withdraw from the Gulf. The islands would remain disputed by the United Arab Emirates, but Iran controlled the ground. Over the following 55 years, that ground became military infrastructure. Greater Tunb and Abu Musa received garrisons, missiles, fast boats, surveillance equipment, and air defense systems. Lesser Tunb maintained a smaller military presence. During the tanker war of the 1980s, the islands helped Iran monitor shipping, deploy mines, and launch attacks against vessels moving through the Gulf. 3 islands alone did not form the entire system. A 2022 study described 7 Iranian-controlled islands as an arch defense chain: Hormuz, Larak, Keshem, Hengam, Greater Tunb, Lesser Tunb, and Abu Musa. Draw a curved line through them and the logic becomes visible. Abu Musa and the Tumb's guard approaches from the western Gulf. Keshem, Larak, and Hormuz sit close to the eastern entrance. Between them lie the routes used by commercial shipping and foreign warships. The arch was not one giant weapon. It was a collection of smaller systems expected to support each other. A radar detects a vessel. Operators identify its course. A command post decides whether it is a target. Coordinates move through communications networks. A missile battery prepares to fire. Drones or boats can provide additional tracking. Mines restrict where the vessel can safely maneuver. Fast attack craft then approach from several directions. Each component is limited. Together they create a problem. This is called a kill chain. Detection comes first. Identification follows. Then authorization, targeting, launch, and guidance. If one link fails, the weapon at the end may become useless. A coastal missile can travel hundreds of kilometers, but it still needs a target location accurate enough to hit something moving across the sea. A radar may see a ship, but the information must reach the correct launcher before the ship changes position. A commander may approve an attack, but only if the network beneath him is still communicating. Iran designed its naval doctrine around these connections. It could not match the United States ship for ship. Instead, it spread weapons across islands, coastlines, underground sites, mobile launchers, small boats, and unmanned systems. The objective was not necessarily to sink every hostile vessel. It was to create uncertainty. A carrier group entering the Gulf would need to consider missiles from land, mines beneath the surface, drones overhead, and fast boats approaching at short range. Every threat required a different response. Alireza Tangsiri spent much of his career inside this system. He became commander of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy in 2018. Under his leadership, the force continued expanding its missile boats, drones, coastal weapons, and dispersed naval bases. Iranian officials publicly advertised missiles with ranges reaching hundreds of kilometers. The exact performance of every system remained uncertain. The message did not. Iran wanted ships across the Gulf to assume they were being watched. Tangsiri also represented something more difficult to replace than a missile launcher. He sat near the top of the organization that coordinated the network. On March 26, 2026, Israel announced that it had struck Bandar Abbas and killed Tangsiri alongside senior IRGC Naval Command officials. Iran initially said little. 4 days later, Iranian media confirmed his death following severe injuries. Killing a commander does not automatically disable every unit beneath him. Military organizations build procedures for succession. Local commanders can operate independently. Pre-planned missions can continue without constant approval from headquarters. But decapitation creates friction. New leaders need secure communications. Units need to know whose orders are valid. Intelligence must be combined. Targets must be prioritized. During a rapidly changing battle, even a short delay can matter. The physical network was already scattered. Its decision-making system had now lost senior people who understood how those pieces were supposed to work together. Radar stations could still detect. Launchers could still fire. Boats could still move. But the person coordinating the larger picture was gone. A distributed defense had become more dependent on local commanders, surviving communications, and plans written before the strike. Then came Greater Tunb. On the morning of July 15th, CENTCOM began a wave of attacks against the island. The publicly identified targets included coastal defense systems and cruise missile storage and launch sites. Precision munitions struck the island for 90 minutes. Later that day, American forces attacked additional Iranian command centers, air defense positions, missile and drone capabilities, and coastal surveillance facilities in several locations, including Bandar Abbas. The selection of Greater Tunb followed a simple physical principle. Mobile launchers can hide beneath camouflage, drive into tunnels, change firing positions, and leave decoys behind. An island cannot. Its coast does not move. Its roads can be mapped. Its buildings can be watched repeatedly. Radar antennas produce electronic emissions. Storage areas require access routes. Launch positions need clear lines toward the sea. Even hardened facilities depend on entrances, power, communications, ventilation, and personnel. An island may be described as unsinkable. Its coordinates are also permanent. This does not make attacking it effortless. Defenders can build bunkers, move weapons between shelters, conceal equipment, deploy false targets, and repair damaged sites. Air defenses can threaten approaching aircraft. Electronic warfare can interfere with sensors. Intelligence may identify a building without knowing what is currently inside it. A precision weapon can strike the exact coordinates assigned to it and still hit an empty shelter. That is why the 90-minute duration matters. A strike wave is not necessarily one aircraft dropping one bomb. It can involve repeated passes, different weapons, surveillance aircraft, electronic support, and battle damage assessment. One target may be struck to expose another. An air defense radar may be forced to transmit, revealing its position. A launcher may move after the first explosion and become visible to another sensor. The operation becomes a sequence: locate, suppress, strike, observe, and strike again. But CENTCOM did not claim it had destroyed Iran's entire strait defense. Its statement said the attacks further degraded Iran's ability to threaten commercial shipping. That wording is deliberate. Greater Tunb was one node. Other islands remained. Mainland facilities remained. Mobile launchers could have survived elsewhere. Mines already placed in the water would not disappear because a storage building was hit. Fast boats could disperse among civilian traffic and small harbors. The same day produced a smaller demonstration of the targeting logic. CENTCOM observed the Curacao flag tanker MT Belma traveling through international waters toward Iran's Karg Island. The ship was unladen. According to the American military, it ignored repeated warnings after the United States resumed its blockade of Iranian ports. An American aircraft fired Hellfire missiles into the tanker's smokestack. The vessel stopped moving toward Iran. It was disabled without CENTCOM reporting that it had been sunk. The precise internal damage has not been publicly described, but the target choice reveals the apparent intention. A tanker's hull contains large spaces that can carry oil. Striking those areas could cause flooding, fire, pollution, or a total loss of the vessel. The smokestack rises above the machinery spaces and carries exhaust from the ship's engines. Hitting that structure offered a way to interfere with the vessel's operation, while reducing the risk of rupturing the main hull. It was a different scale of the same idea used on Greater Tunb. Find the component that allows the larger system to function. Avoid attacking every part when one critical part may be enough. On the tanker, the objective was movement. On the island, it was the connection between surveillance, storage, launchers, and command. The problem is that networks can absorb damage. A ship with disabled propulsion remains one ship. A regional defense consists of many sensors, weapons, crews, islands, ports, and fallback procedures. Destroying visible sites can reduce its reach. Killing commanders can slow decisions. Repeated attacks can force surviving equipment into hiding. None of that proves the network has disappeared. At the time of recording, the fighting is continuing, and complete battle damage assessments are not public. Mobile launchers can move. Naval mines can remain hidden. Iran still controls other islands and mainland positions overlooking the shipping lanes. Greater Tunb was fixed. The rest of the arch remains. Permanent systems often look strongest from a distance. Concrete shelters, fixed launch sites, and long-range weapons create an image of control. But permanence creates patterns, and patterns can be studied. The deeper lesson is not that geography became useless, it is that every defense depends on coordination, judgment, and time. Remove enough of those, and even powerful hardware can become isolated equipment waiting for instructions. That applies beyond war. Large systems rarely fail all at once. They weaken at the connections between people, information, and action. The visible structure may remain standing long after its real strength has started to disappear.